Hi, everybody. Welcome into Sports Talk Chicago. My name is Jon Zaghloul. Great to have you here on Channel 59.3 B-Pod TV and Roku. Big show for today is we're going to preview the Bears-Giants game coming up this weekend and talk about why with no quarterback play, should be a pretty low-scoring affair, and that comes up in just a moment. Before we get started, make sure you follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Jon Z Sports and on Facebook at Jon Zaghloul. If you want to watch more of this show, search up Sports Talk Chicago on YouTube or go to sportstalkchicago.com. If you want to watch other shows from the B-Pod TV network, search up BPOD TV on YouTube. I want to start today with this. The NFL today is a quarterback-driven league, right? We all watch every Sunday to see the superstars of the game. They show up and put up good numbers. Joe Burrow had 525 passing yards last week. Fun to watch, entertaining. The NFL's entertainment. Watching a quarterback unleash a 60-yard pass downfield, that's the epitome of the NFL. It's fun. For the Bears this weekend, Bears-Giants, you won't be seeing any of that. We'll be seeing 5-yard screen passes. Maybe a 10-yard pass here and there. We'll be seeing, actually, one of the worst quarterback matchups all season in the NFL. Not even kidding. The Giants have come out and said they're going to split quarterback play. They're splitting play. Mike Lennon and Jake Fromm will both be prepared to play Sunday. Expect both guys to play, quote, according to Joe Judge, head coach. For the Bears, no quarterback's been announced as of the taping of this show. We don't know who it's going to be. We know Andy Dalton and Justin Fields have returned from injury, but we also saw Nick Foles win a game last week. Who's it going to be? This is just comical. It really is. I do think the Bears are going to win. I'll tell you why in a second. But this is comical. We're talking about a quarterback-driven game. We're talking about the Chicago Bears, the New York Giants, top 2 media markets in the country. And the quarterbacks we're going to see are a combination of Mike Lennon, Jake Fromm, potentially Andy Dalton, potentially Nick Foles. You ready for football? Ready to watch this game too? And I thought last week would be a joke. This one really takes the cake. The game's meaningless for both sides, really. Giants are eliminated from postseason contention. Daniel Jones is out for the year, and Joe Judge has been retained. Now, they've retained Joe Judge, so for the rest of this year, it's going to be taken. They're going to use the Bears' draft pick in the first round to draft somebody significant for them this upcoming year, the pick the Bears traded for Justin Fields. That's the Giants situation. I don't know if there's fight for this team. I don't know how they've really done when it comes to that point. I mean, they've been out of it for so long. They've been out of it since the beginning. Joe Judge was supposed to be fired. They're retaining him. I don't know what morale then is like inside their locker room. I do know this, though. Whenever you say you're rotating quarterbacks, never a good sign. When those 2 quarterbacks in rotation are Mike Lennon and Jake Fromm, good luck. Mike Lennon's been atrocious this year, but he's always been atrocious. I don't even know how he has a job still. How does this guy have a job? There are better quarterbacks who've never made it to the NFL. Mike Lennon is still employed. And Jake Fromm's a rookie. Not a good one either. Wasn't highly touted, wasn't a big pick, late round guy, supposed to be a 3rd-string practice squatter, but because of Daniel Jones' injury, he's now on the team and he's made a start. Great. That's who the Giants have to work with at quarterback. They have injuries, they've been decimated all year, and frankly, they just suck. I mean, think about it. You got no quarterback, you got a head coach unpopularly retained, and you're losing games left and right. Not a good team, not a good situation. And again, this channel does cover the Bears, so can't say too much. The Bears themselves, miraculous big win last week with Nick Foles in the snow on the road. Now they face the Giants. Again, I don't know who's going to start. But I do believe that no matter who it is out of the three, they'll be capable enough to win this game. Guaranteed. If Nick Foles could beat the Seahawks and Justin Fields is himself and even Andy Dalton, any one of those three guys could win this game. This is a very, very winnable game for the Bears. Even with injuries, even with COVID reserve lists, even with uncertainty at the quarterback position, I believe this is a winnable game. What does that do for Matt Nagy, Ryan Pace? I would hope nothing. If you missed it, I did a deep dive into Matt Nagy's job candidacy coming into next year, and there have been reports that Matt Nagy could still be retained if the losses don't pile up. There has been no final decision from Hellas Hall on his status for next year. Now look, I don't think a win against the Giants, against Mike Glennon and Jake Fromm's going to change anything for his status next year, but we'll have to see what happens. I will say this, though, if the Bears lose this game, that could really accelerate things. I believe Matt Nagy won't be fired till after the season. I really do. But if they lose this game, that could be the nail in his coffin. If they win, then they beat Minnesota, they finish 7-10, there is a possibility to me, this is just speculation, that he could stay. Somehow, some way. I hope not. Don't want it to happen. Don't think he deserves it. But the Bears have disappointed me and you many times in the past. Wouldn't be surprised to see it happen again. So there's really not much writing on this game. The Bears should and really have to win, and that's it. This should not be overly difficult. This should not be a problem game. This shouldn't even be a trap game if you're betting. The Bears should win. Simple as that. If you're going to face Mike Glennon and Jake Fromm, if you're going to face a rotating quarterback system, you're probably going to win, I would hope. Especially with quarterbacks of that caliber. It'd be different if you're rotating Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. You're rotating those two. Not going to work. Giants are out of options. They're looking at next year. They might fire their GM. There are a lot of things going on over there in New York. A lot of things going on here, too. But the Bears' three quarterbacks, whichever one starts, is better than their two. It's better than the Giants' two quarterbacks, no question, no matter who starts for the Bears on Sunday. I don't like the fact that they haven't revealed who it is. I mean, here's a tweet from Dan Bernstein. The Bears not knowing, revealing who their QB is for such an empty and pointless game is the essence of their modern existence. Correct. 100% true. There really is no gamesmanship here. This game means nothing. And look who you're facing and who they're running out there. There should be no reason for gamesmanship or being coy or not telling anybody. Just be upright, my gosh. For once, if there's one thing that just really grinds my gears about this team and about this coaching staff, why wait? Just tell everybody. This game means nothing. Nothing to nobody. Honestly, it only means something to Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy loses, I mean, it's really, really over. Why not just say, hey, Fields is back, he's going to start. Or Fields is hurt, but Dalton's back. Or Nick Foles played well last week, put him in. Just be upright and honest at this point. Is that too hard to ask? Really? Can you just be honest? Everybody's sick of this charade. And they're sick of this team and how it's gone this year. Just tell us who's going to play, please. Is it that hard? If there's anything you want to look forward to, Robert Quinn needs a half a sack to tie Richard Dent's franchise record. And one sack on Sunday will break it. That would be nice. Had a great season, Robert Quinn. You can watch David Montgomery, who's really battled all year despite poor offensive line play and bad play calling from Matt Nagy. Allen Robinson's supposed to be back too. Maybe he'll get some targets and make some plays. That's something. Not saying it's too much, but it's something. But I think most importantly, if you want to see a Bears win, here's your time to do it. I don't know what's going to happen last game of the year. They face Minnesota. It's going to be a tough one. And even if they do win, it's not going to be pretty. This is probably going to be, I would hope, a dominant win for the Bears. It should be. This should not be a close game. This should not come down to a last-second drive. This should be put away in the third quarter, fourth quarter, early at most. You're facing two different quarterbacks. Come on. Just do what you got to do. Not that hard. Not when you're facing two different quarterbacks. It'd be different if you're facing Tom Brady. Yes, you're facing Mike Glennon and or Jake Fromm. Come on. Win the game, please. Please win the game. Don't take forever either to put up points or to try and run away with it. Don't even give them a chance. They have no chance. Just win. The defense should be on. You should be expecting lots of interceptions. Maybe a pick six here and there. Totally possible. I could see it. That's the quality of quarterback you're facing. That's the quality you're going to get. I mean, it's no coincidence why Spiro Ditas and Jay Feely are even calling the game. No one's going to be watching this. 5-10 versus 4-11. Two teams in the gutter. Two teams with uncertain starting quarterbacks as for the game itself. And two teams with head coaches who at least were in the hot seat. I don't know how Joe Judge got retained. Don't ask me. It makes no sense. And why Daniel Jones is coming back too. Daniel Jones has also been retained. Makes no sense. He's been given enough opportunities. Hasn't worked. Move on. Everybody here in Chicago gave Mitch Trubisky 4 years. What about Daniel Jones? Same situation. Daniel Jones has been around a while, and he's really not produced any results. Now, you could say he has no team around him, but still, he do something. 3 years, a 12-25 record as a starting quarterback. 45 touchdowns, 29 picks. I mean, this is average play. I get it, I guess. Give him one more year, but I haven't seen anything yet. His rookie year was a bit encouraging, but it's got progressively worse. Nothing's better yet. And besides the point, he's not even going to play. Unable, hurt, out for the year. This is probably one of the least entertaining games in the NFL all season. And the quarterback is the center of a team and of this game, and you don't know who's going to start on both sides? Problem. Late in the year, both teams don't care. That's a problem. Nevertheless, I'm expecting a Bears win. We could celebrate on Monday, talk about the game. We will, here on this channel, on the program. I don't know if it matters. Unless we see some development, or maybe Robert Quinn breaks the record. That'd be great. Maybe Justin Fields plays and has a great game. I'd love to see that too. At the end of the day, though, as I've talked about pretty much all season, we know what the fate is at the end of the year. And that's the fact. If the Bears win out these last two games, I could see a scenario in which Nagy and Pace stay, but regardless, somebody's going to be fired the day after the season on January 11th. Somebody. I don't know who. Someone's going to be fired. I mean, look at this team. Look where they've sunk to. We're sitting here talking about a 5-10 Bears team facing the Giants at 4-11. We're talking about who knows who's going to start a quarterback, and you're facing a team that doesn't know. They're going to do a rotation. This is really just a low point for this Bears team in their season. It's really, really over. You know? And we knew a couple of weeks ago they were already eliminated, but, I mean, it's really over. When you don't know out of your three quarterbacks who's even going to start, and you're still playing the gamesmanship card, and you're facing the Giants, who have already said, we're going to use a rotation of quarterbacks. I mean, come on. That's silly. I think everybody knows what their fate is. I really do. I think Pace, Nagy, I think they know where they stand come next year. I really do. I think it's over. They know it. Fans know it. Even media knows it. So, expect a real barn burner on Sunday. But expect the Bears win. I would. I really would. It'll be fun to maybe see some action from this team Justin Fields plays, we could see some good moments for him against a pretty bad defense, pretty bad team all around. And defensively, we could see Robert Quinn break a record, and maybe I do see a defensive touchdown coming the Bears' way this weekend. I could totally see it. So there are reasons to be excited for Sunday, no question. But at the end of the day, remember the situation. We all know, pretty much, the fate of Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace. We know the direction of this Bears team. They're 5-10. And when we're sitting here talking about a game against a Giants team that's using Mike Glennon and Jake Fromm as a quarterback rotation in Week 17, well, that's really all you need to know. Do I need to even say any more? When you describe that situation, is there any more that needs to be said? Sounds like a meme. Sounds like a joke, but that's real life football here. Got the Bears with who knows who they're going to start against a quarterback rotation. 5-10 versus 4-11. Late in the season. Lame duck head coach. Lame duck GM. That's where the Bears stand this year. That's how disappointing the year has been. I mean, this is really a microcosm of the whole season for the Bears. I'll be watching. I'll give you an update on Monday of how it went. Expect to win. I guess be happy and rejoice when they do. But just remember, it really doesn't mean too much. We know what's going to happen at the end of the year, and I think more people will be happy when there's real change than just for some lowly win over a quarterback rotation and a team that's really deep in the gutter. Thanks for watching today's show here on BPOD TV, channel 59.3 in Roku. Really appreciate the time. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Jon Z Sports and on Facebook at Jon Zaghloul. If you want to watch more of this show, search up Sports Talk Chicago on YouTube or go to sportstalkchicago.com. Really appreciate the time. Many more shows to come at you next week right here on BPOD TV. So long, everyone.